It sometimes feels these days in particular that talking about a Jaguar XJR is becoming more of a rarity. People who buy these are keeping them, not only in this form but the generations which came before, as collector's pieces, future investments, perhaps even weekend toys or show queens, or even, because they are so capable, as long-distance daily drivers perhaps. In the case of this particular Polaris white example, which is actually a refreshing change, usually you see these in black or greys and red, so white is a very classy, clean alternative with, of course, that jet and red zone interior, of course soft grain leather in particular. It's a stunning looking car and its condition is definitely a testament to that. On the one hand, it's covered nearly 10,000 less miles than the average for a 2014 XJR, such as this one is, at barely 50,000. And anyone who knows their X351s, which is of course this generation, knows they are more often than not very, very high mileage cars because they're just so useful, petrol or diesel versions. Further to its mileage though, the history behind it is fantastic. A full Jaguar service history in particular, 10 stamps. In fact, it was most recently serviced by Williams Jaguar barely 3,000 miles ago in February. It was originally owned, incidentally, by Jaguar themselves for the first 3 years of its life. It's only had 2 private keepers ever since, and the most recent of those have had the car since 2018. So clearly everyone involved in this car's history has absolutely loved it. Now, of course, being an XJ, regardless of its performance, the kit level is fantastic. It has heated and cooled seats, in fact active ventilated seats front and rear, heated steering wheel as well, of course that panoramic roof as you'd expect in this generation of the XJ, adaptive cruise control, that full uprated Meridian sound system, of course that's in addition to the V8 soundtrack which you have as well, that touchscreen display with built-in sat-nav and Bluetooth connectivity. It has blind spot monitoring as well, interactive voice control, reverse camera as well as front and rear parking sensors, 4-zone climate control for each primary passenger, power opening and closing boot, as well as, to go into its performance side, that active diff. Now to stay on the point of its performance being an XJR, that means a whole lot of performance. In fact, these are somewhat underrated performance cars in the Jaguar lineup. People expect an R model to, of course, be fast. It's a 5-litre supercharged V8, but many people don't realise just how fast these are. With 540 horsepower and over 500 foot-pounds of torque, what that means in practice is that this full-size luxury flagship Jaguar can reach 60 miles an hour in 4.4 seconds. That is supercar territory, and even its speed limiter is raised from the more typical 155 to up around 175 miles an hour. You can still reach as high as 33 miles to the gallon on a long-distance motorway drive. And although, of course, if you are purchasing a supercharged 5-litre Jaguar, fuel economy probably isn't your biggest concern, but it is still quite rewarding to know that the car is capable of that as well as such fantastic performance. The real cherry on the cake here, though, is of course the value. These, when new, were already fantastic value, up around £70,000+, but now this example is under £25,000 and still, of course, as virtually all of our vehicles do, has the option of low deposit finance if you wanted to spread out the cost. If then you were already on the lookout for one of these stunningly capable XJRs of, you could say, the final era of the XJR, Jaguar's final fuel-burning vehicles before going fully electric, then this is a very, very nicely spec'd example with plenty of performance, that's for sure. So then you could reach out and get in touch about this car via the email address shown here on screen, or give us a call on 01749 871155 or on our mobile number of 07482 267 439.